So when you were saying earlier that you're holding this principle of bodily autonomy, can you define how you're using that for me so I know I'm using it right?
Yeah, so body autonomy to me is the freedom of choice for each individual. It goes from everything from how you would ornament yourself, tattoos, piercings, that type of stuff, all the way down to, um, things that only directly are concerning with your body. So I'm not talking about public health. That's a whole different argument for a different day. I'm talking about your body, your autonomy, for you to decide what goes on it, what goes in it, what stays in it.
Right.
You are the governor of your space.
Okay, so self-governance, essentially, just
Yes, ma'am.
sweet, nice and sweet. Okay, so when we say that it's her body and her choice, and we kind of instill this bodily autonomy argument, and then we have some sort of cutoff, like what you're stating at viability, it's kind of negating the principle of saying she can do what she wants with her body, because even if the child is viable at this point, it is still her body. So are you saying even if she doesn't have access to a lethal abortion, should she have access to a termination of pregnancy that's not lethal for the child, so like an induction after 24 weeks?
That opens up a whole can of worms in the medical community for me.
Right,
Um, so, because induction has its own risks to the now viable fetus. So
right,
now we're implementing will on what I now view as an independent soul.
right.
So no, I don't think that we can at that point in the game, force, unless it's of course for the benefit of this now, individual, unless it's at their benefit. No, I don't think so.
Right. Well, I don't see why we'd hold bodily autonomy then to be a principle that you're holding, because if it is her body and it is her choice, I don't see why at 24 weeks it's now no longer her body, her choice to be able to
Because she
make
had 20,
decisions to
because she
remove a
had,
human from her body.
we implement a reasonable amount of time in some states. Now I'm up in Michigan right now, so obviously I'm one of the more liberal states. But we implement this amount of time, counseling, services, all free to women all over the country.
Wait, why can't we do this from conception?
This is done from conception. You can go the second you find out you're pregnant, you can go obtain this counseling, free
Well, right.
counseling
But if we're
information.
going to force a woman to stay pregnant at 24 weeks, why can't we just force her to stay pregnant from conception then?
No, it's not a viable human. It's just a cluster of cells
Well,
sitting in a
either way, as
fallopian
you
tube.
see, what I'm saying here is she's going to have to be forced at some point with your stance. And if you're saying it's
She's
not
not going to
ethical
be.
to for,
She's
well,
not going to be forced.
one
She's going
second.
to have to make a choice.
Well, 1 second. Let's say she doesn't have that choice, and then your principle kind of falls apart. Let's say
What do you
she
mean she
doesn't
doesn't
find
have it?
out that she's, hang on, let's say she doesn't find out that she's pregnant until 30 weeks, and now she's already past viability. So now, with your stance, even though you say, my body, my choice, now she doesn't have her body, her choice. She doesn't have her autonomy because she's past viability. So now you would force her to stay pregnant at 30 weeks, even though you think it's her body, her choice. So you see why your principle kind of falls apart here.
So I don't like to argue principle from fantasy. I like to argue principle from day-to-day actual existence. The
Ecliptic
probability
pregnancies
and,
are
and
very
st-
real.
they are very real, and they are also extremely rare. My
Not
sister
not
next
that
to me
rare.
is my sister's an OB-GYN. She's sitting next to me. She's actually rolling her eyes.
Weren't
So
weren't you just talking about a bunch of rare cases? But now it's
so
rare.
it can be
And cryptic
rare.
pregnancy is more common than maternal mortality, I believe. I
Way
need to
I
more.
fact check
just,
that,
I
but
Marianne,
yeah,
just,
I was
Way
about to
more
say, I'm
common.
Marianne,
pretty sure it
come here.
is.
I just want to say
Come listen to this.
we also breezed over the addition of a soul aspect that I've just heard
Yeah,
Oh,
like
for
Yeah,
God's
I
sakes,
heard
for
3
that, but
God's
minutes
I don't.
ago.
sakes.
I
All
don't
right, this
even
is
want
where I
Well,
to
leave.
get
This is
into
where
that
I leave. Have a
because
great day,
she's.
everybody. I don't argue religion and science.
you just said when I would consider that they have an individual soul. That was your words, not anybody else's words. I'm bringing it up because you made the addition into the argument. Now I want to know what a soul is.
I meant in your
Why?
space, in
That's
your
not
front
relevant.
cortex, the thing that
Wait,
makes
it's
you
relevant
you.
if it's a qualifier to her
It's not a.
conditions.
I'm not talking from a religious aspect in any
So when
way,
you said
shape, or
soul, that
form.
was a scientific aspect?
No, it was just meaning in just a general layman term, the thing that makes
I,
them them is actually the frontal lobe and the front cortex, and then back up in the parietal lobe. If you want
Right.
to talk science, I can talk science. I'm just trying to keep this conversation
Can I ask one more
friendly, and you're
question
making
before I
it
let
really hard.
Carly go? I just have one more
I
question.
don't know what a
Trish,
soul is.
just to verify, you do know that the embryo or from the moment of conception that this is an alive human, right?
No, it's a cluster of cells trying
Okay,
to
but we
become a
keep
live
talking
human.
about science and you are directly denying science by saying that they are not an alive human until viability.
I am not denying science. I am
Well,
telling you that for,
I'll give you some sources right here if you would like.
Yeah, so what they're
and
gonna
I'll
say
give you
is
my
that
Zoom link to
Hang on,
join my
Jordan.
class
Hang on,
because I teach
Jordan.
biology at the collegiate level.
Well,
It is a cluster
if
of
you teach
cells.
biology, you should know Princeton.edu, NIH, American
Oh
College of
God.
Pediatrics. Biologists have a consensus that life begins at conception.
A
So you are directly
consensus.
denying
There are
science
a
right now.
handful of biologists that have a consensus. That does not mean, as the medical community as a whole, that
It's
we ever buy into that.
96% of
Trish, I have
5,000
a question
people.
for you.
Oh my
96% of
God, we're gonna
biologists.
start
Trish,
talking Jesus. I just
because
know
you're
it.
a scientist, do you know when babies start feeling pain?
Oh, she's out.
She raised her.
Man,
I just want to say that is probably the 15th person since my time on TikTok who has claimed some kind of knowledge, or they're a scientist, PhD, professor, and then they
Yeah.
have like zero knowledge in science or anything of the sort. That's the 15th person since I've been on TikTok.
I
Just
wouldn't say she has zero knowledge.
Yeah.
just for
Definitely.
the
Dude,
clarify
she
the
was
reason
straight denying that life begins at conception. That's the most basic understanding in biology.
That's not zero though. All the other things she was talking about too were like 100% factual. There's just
Sure,
that
man.
one point.